we just ran from our last meeting. I would like to call the January 8th, 2024 school board meeting to order. Lisa, will you please call the roll as we all settle in?
Director Claflin.
Here.
Lalaberty.
Here.
T. Felton.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
W. Felton.
Here.
Human.
Here.
And Chair Rosh.
Here.
That's 7 present.
Excellent. We all made it from the other room. Okay, if we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, as we are all settling in, I will first ask for a motion to approve our meeting agenda for this evening, as well as the Committee of the Whole and regular meetings from December 11th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That the motion carries. Now, first order of business is this is the first meeting of the new year, as the board has does a yearly reorganization or organization of board members and duties. For the next order of business is to select our officers. Nominations are now in order for the office of chair for a term commencing on this first meeting of January 2024 to the first business meeting of January 2025. We have a nomination for chair.
I would nominate John Rosh.
Second.
And any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? Okay, I have to ask twice.
I know.
Last call for nominations. All right. As I am the only candidate for the office of chair, I hereby call myself elected, commencing on this first meeting of January 2025. Thank you very much. All right. Up next, we are now in order for vice chair for the term commencing on the first meeting of January 2024 to the first business meeting of January 2025. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Ann Claflin.
Second.
Any other nominations? With no further nominations, I appoint Ann Claflin as office of vice chair and declare them elected by acclamation for the term commencing at the beginning of January 2024 to the first meeting of 2025. Congratulations. Excellent. And nominations are now in order for treasurer for a term commencing on the first business meeting of January 2024 to the first business meetings of 2025. Do I have a nomination for treasurer?
I nominate Kim. Second.
Any other nominations for treasurer? With that, Kim Human is the nominated for the office of treasurer. Declare them elected for the term commencing in January 2024 to the first business meeting of 2025. And nominations are now in order for board clerk for a term commencing on the first business meeting of January 2024 to the first business meeting in January 2025. I would like to nominate Nikki Lalaberty.
Second.
Any other nominations for clerk? With no further nominations, I hereby appoint Nikki Lalaberty to our board clerk for the term commencing at the first business meeting of January 2024 to the first business meeting of January 2025. that is the required business for us to get through. And the board has also worked through some of our committee assignments and some of the other work and structure and committees that we will be sitting on to serve our community for the next year. All right. That brings us to the most exciting part of every board meeting. I would like to invite Tina Moses up for an update from the technology department. Welcome.
Good evening. It's nice to finally meet you all in person. I've had some individual conversations here and there, but it's my first time seeing you in the flesh. I was lucky enough to transplant from Oklahoma and join the South St. Paul team at the beginning of July. So I'm experiencing my first winter that lasts more than a week. And my team and my district office team, I think they're all braced and ready to see just how long I can hold out before I maybe whimper on my way into the office in the morning. So stay tuned. I'm sure it will be very interesting. I'm so excited to get some time in front of you to share what IT has been working on, as well as give you some glimmers for what you can look forward to in the coming years as we refocus some of our energy in IT to make sure that our teachers, our students, our parents, anyone who's interacting with the school district has the vision to see where we want to go, as well as protecting all of our best interests with, of course, ransomware and security concerns being at the forefront of everybody's mind, with some of our more public neighbors having some issues that were covered in recent months. So a little bit about my team. My name is Tina Moses. Like I said, I'm your new director of technology. Very excited to be here. That's my daughter. She's 18 months old. This was our Christmas. We went back to Oklahoma to see family. We also have my system specialist, Travis Wells. So that's everything from the Exchange server, Google, Word, Office, all of those things. Chad Anderson, who's my network administrator, and if you know anything about IT, we're a little off kilter, especially network admins. So he's the one that keeps the internet and cabling structure up and running, as well as cameras, in addition to a couple other things. Jamie Shepard came onto the team shortly after I did. She's my new student information specialist, as well as my MARS coordinator. So she handles all of our student information system, data entry, cleanup, which has been an interesting task since she started, as well as our MARS state reporting, so making sure those numbers are up to date and accurate as much as we possibly can. Next, I have my user support specialists, and I have to tell you, I've been a K-12 IT director for this is now year 6, and this is one of the strongest, most comfortable and customer-facing conversations user support teams I've ever seen. IT does not always do well with personal interactions. We tend to be a little awkward. So I have Meredith Bauer, Jamie Birchtold, and Melanie Miner, who are my user support specialists. They're in the buildings helping teachers, working tickets, working on troubleshooting things that aren't maybe going so well, and everything in between. And then Bob Wright is my print shop manager, which I have to tell you, I was so excited when I got here and found out I had a print shop because printers are their own animal. They're not necessarily within the scope of most IT work, so it's great to have his specialized knowledge and history with the district. And then, almost lastly, I have my media technology assistants, so they help both the library side and the IT side of our school buildings. I've got Frankie Gill Hagberg, Sharon Howlett, and Meredith Tossi. So they're at the 2 elementaries and then the secondary site, respectively. And then last but certainly not least, I've got my digital learning team. I've got Lori Peterson, who's my digital learning coordinator, as well as Connor Murphy, my digital learning specialist. So they're helping with the ed tech side of the IT world. Every digital curriculum, getting kids into Clever, making sure that the Chromebooks are operating in the classroom the way that we intend for them to. So they're that one-on-one time with the teachers to make sure they're fully supported in any district initiatives that touch the IT world. And they're also that gap between education speak and IT jargon, which can be an interesting gap to span, especially in the K-12 environment. So a little bit about what we do. As a team, we support over 60 systems and programs within the school environment. So that's everything from internet network infrastructure, base physical IT, so computers, displays, cameras, intercoms. The short version is if it has a power button, we probably touch it in some capacity. And if it has a Wi-Fi interaction, it's definitely part of our world. I wanted to give you a little bit of a ticketing breakdown because that's the way we can really quantify what we do. So on average, we solve and close about 13.23 tickets a day. Total tickets resolved in the last 6 months are a little over 2,000, as you can see, closer to 3,600 at the year mark, with the highest volume being in August, because that's the start of school. That's when teachers come back and they find everything that's wrong with their room. The janitors didn't plug the computer back in, or they can't connect to the Wi-Fi, or there was a set of iPads here when I left and now it's not here anymore. All of those kind of things come up when teachers come back. So that's our highest volume of tickets. Since launching the ticketing system in 2017, this team has closed over 31,000 tickets, which over that span of time may not sound like a huge number, but when you consider the size of the IT team, that's a huge accomplishment. And after speaking with a lot of teachers and principals when I first got here, solving it with a high degree of customer satisfaction, because at the end of the day, IT is a customer service part of the team. And then none of that includes any of the on-call tickets that are solved within a day. So if someone calls into the IT helpline, we answer the phone, solve the ticket. It never actually gets put in so that it's part of this metric. So that's just above and beyond what you're seeing on this particular slide. Oh, I'm so excited about this part. So very shortly after I got here, it was made very plain to me that our teachers were unhappy with their classroom displays. They were aging, the pictures aren't clear, there's very few adaptability settings on our classroom displays right now, so any students with learning challenges or difficulties can't interact fully with what's going on in the classroom in that particular aspect. So I wanted to figure out a way to give our teachers as good of an idea as I could about what's even out there and what's available. Every time I kept asking teachers, well, what do you want? I know you don't like what you have, what do you want? I kind of got the blank face of doom, and they didn't really know what to tell me. So I partnered with 5 area vendors that had warehouses in the Twin Cities area and asked them if they would just be willing to bring some different classroom display options for our teachers to interact with in real time. So on our beginning of November and beginning of December PD days, we had what I call an EdTech playground. We took over Heritage Hall over at the high school and just gave the teachers a chance to not only see what's available within a reasonable price point that the district can move forward on, but to also have it all in one place where they can ask questions, they can interact, they can touch it, they can see it, they can imagine, and they can dream about how it can impact their classroom instruction. And we had really positive responses. I was very, very pleased. Our November PD day was more of our secondary crowd due to other PD requirements, and then our December one was our elementary folks. And our next couple slides are just showing you the teachers interacting with some of these things and just getting an idea of what's possible when I'm not restricted by an aging smartboard and a dying projector. What can I do? So very excited to bring this to the teachers. In the back of my mind, loosely considering if there's a way for us to do this each year just so that we can keep teachers abreast of what's going on. The vendors were really willing to make this partnership happen. I came to them with this crazy idea. And most companies are the same, whether I'm in Oklahoma or here, but the vendor partners are different. So I came in with this new crazy idea and said, hey, how can we make this happen? So very excited to offer this to teachers as part of a classroom display refresh initiative. We're going to be working in over the next few years of making sure our teachers have displays that set them up for success, particularly with new curriculum initiatives like Wit and Wisdom and things of that nature, because I never want a teacher to be hamstrung by the technology in the room. It should always facilitate. It should never inhibit. We also rebooted the District Technology Committee. So for me as a leader, it's very important that I have that constant feedback loop from all of my stakeholders, not just my teachers, my principals, but also my parents and students, because it's their educational environment too, not just ours. So we've reinstituted this District Technology Committee. We meet monthly on the second Tuesday over at the high school from 6 to 7. It's comprised of teachers, parents, and students from each school site, so we can have as much representation as we can. And it gives my team some of the best feedback they've had in a long time. We get to ask them what's going well, what's not, what are your pain points, how can we fix them, what are your concerns and anxieties as they relate to IT. Because as we all know, IT is a field that moves very quickly. There's a lot of changes all the time. And students, parents, and teachers have anxieties that come with that. So we want to make sure we're addressing those concerns and providing a platform where they can voice them in a safe space. So that's really what this committee does. I'm not going to read them to you, but after our first couple meetings, the committee decided what they wanted to talk about for the remainder of the year. So we've got a topic every month, as well as things that come up as needed. For example, in the November meeting, I took over half the meeting to discuss some potential security breaches that have been happening within the Infinite Campus community and how we were going to be making some changes to our practices to avoid being added to that list. That's never a reason I want to make the news. But as you can see, there are some really reflective topics here. There are some that are new and groundbreaking. AI is the hot topic in every K-12 IT environment. But there's also some things like in January, we're looking at our adaptive tech. Are we really meeting all the needs of all the students, not just the majority? And then we're also going to look at our Chromebook process. For the first time in a very long time, this district did a full-scale secondary one-to-one check-in in the spring and then subsequent check-out in the fall. We got it done. There were some issues. So I really want to make sure that we dig in with parents and students and figure out where some of those gaps were and how we can address them to improve our processes in the future to make sure that we're really getting devices in the hands of kids in a timely manner and we're not creating equity gaps through a lack of preparedness. So that's something we're really going to dig in and do some good reflective work on. Very excited. So some other things that are just happening in the IT world, coming in the door, we're shifting our focus a little bit so that we can have a better and more robust cybersecurity fabric for the district. As I said, I don't ever want a security breach to be the reason we're in the news. And unfortunately, in today's world, it's not an if, it's a when. We'll have some kind of attack against us. So to that end, we're making some internal changes as well as some district-wide changes to help make sure that we're really in a robust place and that we feel safe that both our information and our student information is always protected. So walking in the door, as Dr. Sambrino so kindly introduced me to the district teachers, I turned on MFA, multi-factor authentication, and you all got that email from me. That is really the first line defense measure for any network that you're trying to keep safe. It's also usually a line item on their cybersecurity liabilities, so there's that as well. We are also about to finish up a project of SSID subdivisions, that's your Wi-Fi, and the different Wi-Fi names that appear. Before, we had one blanket Wi-Fi network for the whole district, which caused some issues. It caused bottlenecks with bandwidth. It caused slow connectivity to student Chromebooks getting kicked off of testing. So we've subdivided that out by building to not only increase security, but to also give us better diagnostic tools if something isn't going well so that we can improve that connectivity and decrease lag time. We replaced our firewall right before Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving, somewhere in that time frame, right before I think, so that we can have a more upgraded firewall protection to our overall district network, again, working towards that more robust security posture. We're about to make our final evaluation on endpoint detection and response, or managed detection and response, which is the antivirus and endpoint security on the district's machines, both servers and laptops and everything in between. So we're about to implement hopefully a more robust solution for that as well, and looking at some data backup and replication so that in the event we were to be attacked, we have minimal data lost, minimal downtime, and we're able to replicate those mission critical systems as quickly as we possibly can. The other ones that I would highlight, I'm really excited about this one too. We are going to participate in the Tri-District Internship Program this spring. So we have 2 intern spots for high school students that are going to work side by side with the South St. Paul IT team. Very excited. We're doing those interviews this week. We've got several really strong applicants, a couple of our own South St. Paul kids, as well as a couple kiddos from the Two Rivers High School. So very excited to bring them in and really show them what does a career in IT look like beyond the stereotypical sitting in a dark room, hissing at the lights as you work on a computer screen. There's a lot more to it than that. We really want to give them the opportunity to see that. And I think that's all I got. Thank you so much for your time. Just a couple shots of kids working with tech from Kaposia, I believe, is where I got these images from. It's an integrated part of our K-12 experience, and we want to make sure that it's a positive part of it as opposed to a frustrating part. So that's what we're working toward.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you very much.
none of us maybe appreciate the factor thing, or like, where's my phone to try and do that. But I appreciate your two major focuses is one, our school safety, but also that it is a customer service industry. And that is not always true in every time anyone works within an IT field, and really appreciate that focus that you bring to that. And so excited. And also welcome you to winter. This is such a mild version of this.
Oh, I have been told. A few of my team members said that their children were a little upset with me for bringing the warm weather and not getting all of the traditional winter activities around Christmas. So we'll see how it goes.
Excellent.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, with AI and with the different varieties of information that it can pull down, how are we making sure that the information that a student may access is either A, accurate, or B, appropriate for their age or topic or view? Like, what other guardrails do we have in place?
So we've got several different filtering products in place. We have our basic firewall, which covers everyone. We also have an additional Chromebook filter that specifically aims at that mobile tech that's in the student's hands every day at school. And we've got a variety of different filters in place in there. We're building a YouTube filter right now that was just released by this company so that we can narrow in the focus of maybe the videos we should or should not have access to at school, things of that nature. We've also looked at a couple options that would allow not only us to make some of those filtering decisions, but to extend that opportunity to parents whenever the students go home with that device. We get a lot of calls from parents asking us, what are tools and tricks that I can use at home to help keep my child safe? Not everybody's an IT professional that knows to go set up the network in a certain way, so that's another tool we can give parents to interact with us and be part of that decision making. But we also, ultimately, we're always going to fall back on the pedagogical knowledge of our teachers and helping them to know in an internet sphere, what does source validation look like? How do I help my students identify it? And it's always going to come back to the most valuable resource in a district being those teachers and their ability to guide and mold students.
Excellent. Tina, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Very well done. Welcome to the district. All right. Up next is highlights from public listening session. Do committee of the whole.
Oh.
Yep. And we had a couple folks show up tonight for our public listening session. Public listening session is always the first meeting of the month here at 4:15. Public listening submissions can also be made via our website. We had a group of gentlemen come in tonight, made a wonderful sort of impassioned plea for finding a way to honor an alum from South St. Paul, Jim Carter, and had made some discussion points around that. Fortunately, the district also has a sort of naming policy that we can sort of refer to and kind of commit that over. But it was a really nice tribute to a South St. Paul alum who has also found ways to give back to our district over and over again. So that will be a part of some ongoing discussions for us as the board, and then be able to position that within the committee as well. All right. And next, I will turn it over to our new Vice Chair, Ann Claflin, for our Committee of the Whole report.
Yes, thank you. Yes, our Committee of the Whole meeting occurs at 5 o'clock before this business meeting every second and fourth Monday of the month, right before our public meetings. And those are open to the public. So please come in and join us. We'll give you a brief overview as well. Today, ours was packed. You saw us all settling in right as we came on the air. Briefly discussed that board reorganization that you already saw happen tonight. Just reflecting that helps us balance the needs of our board with the strengths and capacities of our members, and helps us share some of that expertise. Just wanted to recognize the leadership that Wendy has given us in the 917 district, and how we have this opportunity to pass some of that knowledge on to other board members and do that in a variety of other positions as well, so we can all step in and help each other out. We heard from Joel Miltier about the Grow Your Own Teacher grants. We'll hear a bit more about that later on, but a great opportunity for some of our teachers to go back to school themselves and the agreements that are in place to help them through that process. We discussed our calendar for quite a while, and I'm sure members of our community are very interested in this. Well, this is a discussion that's been mostly about our current calendar and the changes that need to happen. There is also a calendar advisory committee that is considering our calendar for the next year. We can remind folks what those opportunities are for your input on what that calendar looks like. A number of different scenarios are out there. There are some minimum and maximum requirements that we have to work within to get the number of days and hours or minutes for our students. And with some changes in the legislation that were repealed after some of the pandemic flexibility that was given to us, we've had to rearrange our calendar, and we heard that there's a lot of valuable work that's happening among the staff that needs to be adapted to a new schedule. We've heard from students, that student perspective of losing the later starts is really hard for them to hear, but we have to make sure that there are the number of hours, minutes, days met by the requirements put forward by the Department of Education. So we know that the late starts being discontinued is hard on everyone, but is going to be required. But give your comments to the Calendar Advisory Committee, and we'll see what happens with our next year's calendar. And then also heard a bit more about how we'll sunrise some new curriculum and changes to the programming. A number of phases have been already put in place, some going back a few years now, looking at stakeholder engagement on what folks want in our desired daily experiences, taking an assessment of the current programming, looking to a family academic advisory committee, very recently having interviews with students in small groups in the middle school and high school to hear what their thoughts are, and now designing a new curriculum, a new programming with pathways that will accommodate our students' interests, whether they're looking to go into a career program, a college program, explore what opportunities are out there. There are going to be a lot more flexible opportunities for our students in the future. And then those family academic advisory meetings are continuing as well and are an opportunity to learn more about our curriculum and where we want to go in the future. I think that summed up everything we accomplished.
Well done.
That was a lot.
I was certainly excited, and I think students will be excited about some of the choices and opportunities we are looking at for them in the future for those programs that we are about to sunrise. Next, I will turn things over to Dr. Zambrino to provide some highlights from around the district.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Rosh. Yeah, I mean, getting kind of goosebumps over here with all this stuff going on. It's really exciting time to be in South St. Paul Public Schools, and we know that the district and the community are one and the same. So it's a great time to be here. Just welcome to 2024 for our staff, students, families, and our broader community. It's going to be an exciting year. I hope everyone had joyous holidays, whatever that means for you as an individual or with your family. It's always an emotive time of year, but lots going on, and hope everyone was able to celebrate those in ways that were meaningful. We've had a really great restart to the school. It was fun, really exciting for me to get to pop around to all of our sites last week on Wednesday when people were back, the kids and staff were back. I was at one of our elementaries and saw a little guy just darting up the stairs and thought, I should tell him to stop running, because it's what we always do as those of us who've worked in the schools. But then I thought, how great is that he just couldn't wait to get back up to his classroom, to be with his peers and his teacher, to get back to learning. And I think I shared in my Friday update with our board, I was over at the high school and I ran into a girl that was part of our interviews that we had for our stakeholder engagement that Director Claflin was just speaking to. And I said, how's it feel to be back? She's like, I'm so excited to be back. I said, yeah, it must be great to be back with your friends and all that. She's like, actually, I'm really excited to be back with my teachers. And I thought, oh, right? Like, I was like, that was so great, because I'm thinking I got teenage daughters at home, and sure enough, she was really excited to be back to the learning with her teachers. So that just speaks volumes about the experience our teachers and other staff are creating for our students in the classrooms. Other exciting things going on. I heard, I did not know this, today's Tim, you must know this very well, that our girls hockey team is knocking on the door of their 600th win. So we're 3 away. So as I understand it, if all goes well and they take the next 3, that'll happen on Friday the 19th. So that's a pretty cool milestone in a program like that. And then, the Grow Your Own coming online. We have 2 of our fellows started, and we just got another grant. So as you mentioned, Joel Miltier will talk a little bit more about some of the logistics behind that, but super excited about the collaboration. This was done in partnership with the Tri-District, so we received a $750,000 grant to diversify our staff, and then we applied for another one for special education programming and received another $700,000. That's combined for the Tri-District. We get a third of that, so significant ability to invest in the future of our schools. So very, very excited about that. This week, we also have a special luncheon. I know Chair Rosh and Director Human and I will be joining Director Felton when she's getting the All-State Award, School Board Award from the Minnesota School Board Association. So I could probably go on and on and on, but I'll kind of get to my actual formal presentation here. But again, such a great time to be part of South St. Paul Public Schools. Some other things going on. We have, it's funny when you transition out of the classroom, how your brain starts to go to next year right away. So we are fully in next year mode for a lot of us. And this is right there with it. So kindergarten registration coming up on January 23rd at 6 o'clock at both Lincoln and Kaposia. So we are so excited to welcome in new Packers or younger sibs of current Packers. But families, you can come to the schools. You can learn about the schools, meet the teachers, meet administrators, of course, ask all the questions you've been wondering about. If you are planning to register, please bring a birth certificate, proof of residency, and your child's immunization record, because those will be some of the technical pieces we need. But you'll walk away with some Packer swag and a better understanding of how great our 2 elementary schools are. You'll do amazingly well at either. We did mention the late start, so we did have to shift away from late starts for the rest of the year at the secondary building. We started that last week, and that's just to make sure we stay hitting that minimum number of instructional hours, and then a little shift that you'll talk about a little bit around one of our days for the high school. Just making sure we're all on track as we kind of went through some of the legislative changes that came through, some flexibility that was there during and right after the pandemic that shifted away. On a fun side, we always love talking about our performances that happen at our buildings, and we have the Winter One Act plays coming up. So on the 20th and 21st, the high school will be doing the secondary building will be doing 6 plays. So the high school competition play is Shakespeare's Dead Dames. Then the middle school One Act will be Will You Be My Nemesis? And then really cool, we have 4 student-written, student-directed 10-minute skits. So one is A Christmas Carol. That is a question mark at the end, so I'm trying to make that come across in my voice, by Max C. Dud Money by Harrison S. The Haunted Mansion by Sydney W. And We Were Soldiers by Will M. So you can get the tickets on our website, but always exciting to see the talents of our kids on display. And then we mentioned this before, but want to make sure people have this on your radar. We have a lot going on with the pool. It's exciting to be expanding programming and things at Central Square. But we did start now, as we go into 2024, a 100-mile lap swim challenge. So anyone who's registered, you'll just keep track of your laps there while you're at the pool, and they can be charted there. But when any participant reaches the 100-mile mark, they receive a T-shirt and their name on the leaderboard. So what a fun way to get in shape and, pretend it's not winter and jump in the water. Some other highlights happening around the district. Really great opportunity, as Director Claflin mentioned a little bit. We are deep into engaging with our stakeholders. You heard that even in Tina Moses is around the tech stakeholder engagement, that tech committee. One of my biggest priorities is to make sure we're hearing firsthand from all of our varied stakeholders, but our most important, in my opinion, would be our students. And so we've talked a bit about the sunsetting of our PYP and MYP portions of the IB program. We're going to continue the diploma program, but we wanted to hear from our students firsthand. What's working? What are the best opportunities you had? What are opportunities you wish you have? So we interviewed 250 students at both the middle and high school levels. We had them in groups of 10 or less, so there's a picture of me getting to engage with an amazing group of middle schoolers. Super fun to get my middle school hat back on. And they're just, what I love about our students is they're kind, they're caring, but they're candid and honest. So if you want to know the truth about our schools, just ask the kids, and they'll tell you very respectfully, but very candidly. So super fun to hear their perspectives and get ideas from them as we vision out where we're going with our district and delivering on our desired daily experience. Our sixth graders just had that kind of rite of passage trip or field trip that they get to do. So they got to go to the Junior Achievement Biz Town in St. Paul. So students spend a lot of time preparing ahead. They interview for jobs and they elect their mayor. And then the business and finance folks get together and they practice as a team. So got to visit when they were up in Mr. Peter Fessel's room and some of the other rooms preparing. But then I ran into some kids. Actually, I was at Kaposia, and one of the students had just gotten back. She was there to get her younger siblings and was just so excited about what that experience was for them. So appreciate all the work our middle school team does to create that opportunity for them. This one's a nice kind of heartwarming story. We had our students at Lincoln Center worked on a community service project in December to donate bears to the children's toy closet at Regions Hospital. So the staff helped with the fundraising, and then the students got to earn Packer Praise tickets all through the month, and then if they had the most or they got to win, then they were able to name the bear and create an adoption certificate to send along with the bears when they got brought to the hospital. So really fun way to promote positive character development within the school. And then the Kaposia Family Center. So at Kaposia, they had first and second grade classes hosted winter family centers before winter break. I'll tell you, like every time we have a family engagement event at our schools, it's like standing room only. And I was there on that day trying to weave through all the parents who were there, and just super fun to see them engaged and investing in their own children's experience and the experience of others, because they were facilitating all kinds of activities with all the students. Our central, our Community Learning Center, CLC, has a very small space that they use for PE, but they got really creative and brought in something I think is really cool. It's one of those things we hope to have and never need, but better not be in the opposite situation where you need it and don't have it. So they actually spent a couple weeks on self-defense lessons. So Officer Schmitz and Nelson from our own local police department went over, spent 2 weeks working with the kids on self-defense strategies, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, they got a self-defense certificate. So really cool way to knock out that PE credit, but also take something away that hopefully they'll never need, but glad they have it. So thank you to our partners with the PD for that. And then just some dates to remember. On January 15th, we have a no school. It's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday. I'll actually be joining some of our city partners in the annual celebration, so looking forward to that on Monday. The 26th is no school for grades K-8, and then our digital learning is going to be implemented for 9th through 12th to make sure we're staying on track with our hours that we were talking about earlier. And then President's Day right around the corner as well in February on the 19th. We got some fundraisers that are just an easy way to support the school and not have to make dinner. So Kaposia's got their Dine Out fundraiser at Noodles on the 16th, and Lincoln's got next month on the 13th, their Dine Out at Chipotle. And then we have a family movie night. Looks like Super Mario Brothers happening on the 25th at Kaposia. High school on the 25th is Student and Family Connect from 4 to 8, and then that's that full digital learning day for students the following day. And then with our activities, we mentioned the one-act plays on the 20th and 21st. So tons of fun stuff going on around the district. Again, excited about what 2024 has in store for us. I think we have a lot of accomplishments from 2023, and the list is just going to get longer and longer as we go. This is a district on the move. So excited about what lies ahead. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, up next, we move to our consent agenda, which are items that are financial claims and staffing and personnel in nature and have been presented in our board book. Do I have a motion to approve our consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That the motion carries. Up next, we have a couple policy items that have been under review for 3 consecutive meetings. This makes that the final reading for policy numbers 424 pertaining to license status, 425 staff development, 507 corporal punishment, 532 use of peace officers and crisis teams, and 806 for the crisis management policy. Do I have a motion to approve the following items?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That the motion carries. Now, we have a great deal of business tonight. So first, I am looking for approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve Monica Weber for a 3-year appointment as the South St. Paul School District Representative to Intermediate School District 917, beginning January 24 through December 26. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And with that, the motion carries. Next, I am looking for approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve the resolution relating to the declaration of clerk and treasurer duties to the finance director for day-to-day business. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Lisa, will you please call the roll on that one?
Director Lalaberty,
Yes.
T. Felton,
Yes.
Human,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
W. Felton,
Yes.
Claflin,
Yes.
and Chair Rosh.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas.
And next, I'm looking for the approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve the 23-24 calendar revisions.
So moved.
Second?
And for discussion, any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just jump in there. That was just, again, the January 26th date change for our secondary, or for the high school, so we can make sure we stay on track.
Absolutely. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That the motion carries. Next, I am looking for approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve the Grow Your Own Teacher Candidate Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
And for discussions, I turn over to Joel Miltier.
Great. Thank you for your time this evening. Before you this evening are 2 agreements for 2 of our staff members who are going through the first Grow Your Own program in the district. They believe they begin their education next Monday at Metro State University, and we have the agreements with them to be able to start that program. So as a reminder, I presented to the board a grant received by the Tri-District providing funding for a new Grow Your Own program within each of the 3 districts back in the 22-23 school year. We initially identified 2 of our staff interested in pursuing their teaching degrees, and they are now beginning that education. So we're asking for you to approve this contract this evening for each of these individuals so they can begin their teacher education and hopefully begin their long teaching career in South St. Paul schools.
Excellent. Any further questions or discussion?
Just general enthusiasm. I just think it's so cool. And I'm really excited for our 2 staff who are starting.
As a board, we're incredibly excited about this program. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? With that, that motion carries. Thank you so much. But stick around, because we are also looking for approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve the U of M student-teacher agreement. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And for discussion, I turn it over to Joel Miltier again.
Thanks. This is yet another student-teacher agreement this year with the University of Minnesota this time to have student teachers begin here in the school district here in January. So we're looking for the board tonight to approve that student-teacher agreement, again, to build and strengthen those partnerships with our colleges and universities and create pathways and a pipeline for teachers to begin to teach in South St. Paul.
Excellent. Any discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? With that, the motion carries. And our last business item for the night, I am looking for approval for the South St. Paul School Board to approve the acceptance of gifts resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And for discussion, I turn that over to Brady Hoffman.
Good evening. There's a few donations here on the agenda tonight. We have a donation from Dana and Molly Babbitt for the senior all-night party. We have a donation from the South St. Paul Lions for the Kaposia student agendas, as well as some donations from the South St. Paul Open Foundation for some coaching salaries for girls hockey and for wrestling. As always, we're grateful for the support of our community and supporting our district.
Absolutely. Any further discussion or questions? So thankful for the generosity of our community. I'm in awe over and over and over again. Lisa, will you please call the roll on that one?
Director T. Human, or T. Felton, excuse me. We're changing up your names here.
Yes.
T. Felton, Human,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
W. Felton,
Yes.
Claflin,
Yes.
Laliberte,
Yes.
and Chair Rosh.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas.
And the motion carries. Please excuse us on any errors as we're kind of going through. We've been going at a blitz pace since we began at the very top of the night.
Missed my coffee this afternoon.
All right. So now we're going to be moving to some updates. Do we have a student update at this time, Luis? Okay. I didn't know. I didn't touch base with you ahead of time. Just needed to check. So I am going for our board member committee updates, and I will start all the way down with Kim Human.
Great. I am looking forward to continue to be the liaison for community education. We meet tomorrow, our first meeting of 2024, so I'm excited to be there. I am also looking forward to attending the Minnesota School Board Association Conference and being able to celebrate Wendy's accomplishments on Thursday.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And to you, Wendy Felton.
Okay. First off, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you. We're looking forward to 2024. It's always exciting. And I, too, will be assisting Monica as she starts taking over 917 district. I will be going down with her there tomorrow and helping her into the place and introducing everything. And I know she'll enjoy it because there's such a nice, wonderful crew down there that she'll get to know. It's very exciting. And I also, too, want to put a huge congratulations and thank you to our board officers, Chair Rosh, Vice Chair Claflin, Treasurer Human, and Clerk Laliberte. We thank them so much for what they do and congratulate them as they serve for us this year. And also, I truly, truly look forward to the MSBA conference convention, which is this week, as I will be receiving the All-State School Honoree Award, being on the board. So it's a true honor, and grateful to South St. Paul Public Schools, to our district, to our administrators and everyone. I thank them so much for doing such a great job with our students, with our staff. I truly look forward to receiving this award, and I thank them so much for all that they have done for our community. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Tim Felton.
Well, it's been a while since we met for the Open. I think it was back in November, but the three things that we approved at that time was we gave some support to the trap team for South St. Paul, girls hockey, and boys baseball.
Excellent. All right. Ann Claflin.
Thank you. The local issues group should begin meeting again at the end of January, the fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. at Central Square. I also wanted to take the brief moment just to say how much fun I had sitting with elementary school students from Kaposia making art before the holiday break. The Kaposia PTA has a art competition, and students were asked to create art about why they are hopeful. And while kids made all types of art, there were a few kids who made art saying that they were hopeful because of their pets, that helped them have a good outlook, and that they were hopeful because they were learning to read. So that was just so much fun.
Wonderful. I'll swing to the other end. Monica Weber.
Well, once again, Happy New Year to everyone. For the Association of Metropolitan School Districts, had their meeting last week. Had a presentation, talked about a variety of topics. One of the interesting ones was they talked about something, fortunately, we're not doing this year, which was referendums. And they had different people talk about their experiences, what worked, what didn't work, how to really connect into their communities, figure out like how to get people to support their schools, telling them why it's important. And they just had a very interesting discussion about a variety of different ways to reach out to your community in referendums. So that was very interesting. I would like to thank Wendy for her service on the 917 board. She has served us very capably and ably and well. And I'm looking forward to the new adventure because it'll be a whole new group of people to get to know and new services that I can provide for our district and also people in the greater Dakota County area. So I'm looking forward to the new challenge.
Excellent. Nikki Lalaberty.
I have nothing at this time.
All right. The Policy Committee, evidence of their work is the final vote tonight on some items. We've got some additional things sort of in line coming to us soon that you will start seeing evidence around as we get some meetings scheduled for those items. I would also like to extend my congratulations to Wendy Felton, and we will be there on Thursday to celebrate her and welcome everyone into the new year. And we thank you for allowing us to serve our community. With that, with no other items on our agenda, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the January 8th, 2024 school board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? More we want to do? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That the motion carries. Our meeting is adjourned at 6:52. Thank you so much, everyone.